Look at that. Gorton's fish sticks. You see that? This hat, I am totally certain, and I am on the verge of saying I know, this, I believe, is the only hat I have ever bought for just fashion sense. Huh. I've had to buy hats before, but for reasons, going skiing or something. Something like that. This. My sister came to Kalamazoo to visit me once. She wanted to see the Tulip Festival in Holland. It's not the Fellatio Festival in Amsterdam. It's the Tulip Festival in Holland, Michigan. They have a windmill, and they've got tulips, and they've got this whole Dutch community thing going on. And she always wanted to see it, so she came from Montana, and she came down Kalamazoo to see me. And we went there the one day, and it was pouring rain all the way. And once we got there, it stopped raining, and it just became a nice overcast day, which really showed the color of the tulips. We were there just the right time. And I saw this hat, and this is like a Dutch fisherman's cap. My dad being a fisherman, and I actually did fish Alaska commercially there for a hell that I can run. Where D-Day almost died. It was up to me to decide if he was gonna die, and I saved him. Took a second. Yeah, not even a split second. I took, I think, a full second before I acted. I was looking and going, yeah. I had all the time in the world. You want to make sure you get it right. But I saw this hat and I put that on. I said, that's a nice hat. I like that. So I bought it. Then the next time I see my dad, he's like, I like that hat. He didn't even know it was a fisherman's cap. I'm like, okay. So then the next time I went up, I took from Kalamazoo to Gaylord, made a 7-hour trip out of it, going through Holland to get up there so I could stop by at Holland, Michigan, to get my dad a hat just like it. My dad's is worn out, but it's in better shape than mine. He took care of his, but it's well worn. And I got him one. And I come across this hat, and I look, and I'm sitting there looking at it. I got it on. I've only worn it a couple times, really. But I looked at it today. I found it in Victoria's car. And this makes me look like a damn driver. And see how everything is connected? When I was in the Army, I was driving for the Assistant Division Engineer's office. I drove for Major Hickey. I drove for Major Davis. I drove for Major Temple. I drove for another major. I can't remember his name. Really nice, quiet guy. Good, at least 50% of them were good bosses. My favorites were Major Hickey, my first, and then Major Temple in the end that I drove for in Iraq. Here's to you, Major Temple. Went on to work in the Pentagon and run the whole damn Army Corps of Engineers. He died of cancer a couple of years ago. I just found I've been meaning to get back in touch with him. Last time I talked to him, I spoke Chinese, and he quit emailing me because he was working in the Pentagon. Probably a bad idea. Great man. And so I drove for him. And when I was driving the Humvee, this one, Sergeant Ayala, I can't believe I remember all these names. He was like, Kato. And I'm like, what? and he called me Kato. And I said, I don't even know what that is. And he told me that was a Green Hornets driver. And I was like, oh. And forever after, he called me Kato. And I said, okay, so I was Kato to him in the Army. And then I found out later that was Bruce Lee playing Kato. And I'm like, well, I was born the same day as Bruce Lee. And we're both drivers. Huh. And then after that, I ended up driving the shoe truck. I was a driver again. I'm always driving something. That's something that comes from the Elderquist clan. We're drivers. We just go and go and go. My dad's a driver too. He loves driving things. Tractors, motorcycles, to his old lady into the ground. Oh, no. I'm sorry. I love you, Ma. He loved her too. He just outlived her is all. And while I was there, it was 95, and the OJ trials were just going on. And Kato Kalin had this long hair, blonde hair, and everybody in the world, in the country that had long blonde hair at the time, I'm sure can attest, everybody called him Kato. And they called me Kato there right from the start. And so I was Kato, and I was a driver. And I've got a driver's cap. And this is what we do. We keep driving on, driving on, driving on. Doesn't matter what you got to do, whether you got to get somebody to war or whether you got to get some shoes or some boots to some soldiers, whether some boots to some factory workers, whoever it is. Everything's connected. I am Kato. I am Bruce Lee. I am a driver. I'm a winner. Things are going to change. I can feel it.